Yeah. Pack it up, pack it in, let the surge begin. We take your socials up, you know we're built to win. Busy closing deals, running business all day. We handle your social so you can focus your way. Algorithm shifting, platforms on the move. We track the updates, keep you. Good morning, good morning. It is Social Surge. We're just waiting to go live over on the gram. Interesting, something I just saw. We can add a URL to a live. Huh. That's interesting. To a live on Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, so guess what I just did? Hey, good morning, Steph. Is it? Sorry, my screen's small. Good morning. Thanks for joining us over on The Surge. I am Mo Regalado, and over here, over that way, is my ride or die, my boo. What the heck? Hector Regalado joining me on The Surge this morning, and today we're going to be talking about something that we've been kind of building around for a while, which is the strategies that are building visibility, trust, and business in the age of AI. So I know AI is getting basically shit on pretty much all the time because of AI content. But anecdotally, from what I'm seeing, whether it's an AI created image or it's AI content, as long as the AI content is coming from you, right? It's not, yeah, I mean, it's not you just putting like, help me write a post about this, right? It's you actually taking your voice, your thoughts, your ideas, and saying, help me complete this, right?
Right.
There's a difference between write this for me and here's some original content that I was either speaking, I was on a podcast, I was doing something, and I want to create a series of posts. I would like to help formulate this so that it sounds better, or that the message that I'm trying to get across is getting across. So, right. I have kind of this love-hate relationship with AI because of the fact that it does help create content, but people are lazy and they create crappy content. So today we're going to be talking about visibility, trust, and business in the age of AI. Posting consistently is no longer enough. Today, your content isn't just competing for attention. It's also competing for being seen and evaluated by AI, agentic search. And as to whether or not that's going to get, that content's going to get picked up by the answer engines, AI assistants, recommendation engines, whatever you want to call it, all the engines that go vroom on the interwebs, right?
Go vroom, huh?
Go vroom, yeah. Do you remember when Maxine when she used to dance?
Oh, yeah, zoom, zoom.
Zoom, zoom. What was that, the Mazda commercials? Oh,
yeah,
my gosh. Mazda commercials. Anyway, we're just reminiscing about our she's going to be 27. She's 26 now, right? 26 years?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
so every week, someone's always asking, what's the algorithm doing now? And really that's not the correct question to ask. The correct question to ask is, what are people looking for, and what is AI learning about my business? Because as we know, social media is not social anymore. It's about being searchable, discoverable, and indexable so that you show up on some type of AI ecosystem. So, part of this, good morning, Alan Buchanan. Part of this is finding out how to create content that helps you get found on search. Wow, my throat dried out. On agentic search. And in fact, I'm going to actually be doing a workshop on that coming up next Wednesday.
Yep.
Yeah, the
24th.
29th. The
Yes.
29th? The 29th.
At 11 a.m. PST. Yep.
So I'll be doing that, talking about how you get discovered in this age of AI. And it's really not just your social content. Sorry, I'm kind of going off on a little tangent about the workshop. It's not about just being social, like having content on social media. It's also who's recommending you, how are you getting reviews, are you being picked up by other sources, other avenues, such as, are you sending out press releases, are you getting earned media mentions, how are you cultivating relationships with other publications that are actually posting about you. So it's a whole like network, to come lack of a better word, that you have to be utilizing. And so it's not just social anymore. So
AI has definitely started to change the whole aspect of marketing, right? The whole playing field of marketing. It's because of the fact that AI can go and scrape, right? Can go and search other websites at it, and it's quick, right? Obviously, that people are now, the way it's changing that playing field is that if you write something somewhere, it can be found. But like to your point, it needs to be structured in a way that that the search engines can easily grab that information and not spend, because just like anything else, there, it'll spend a certain amount of time doing something, right? It'll spend a certain amount of time of reading that information. If it doesn't grab information, it just it moves on. It moves on to the next possible source.
Right. It has to be the easiest thing for the AI to grab, which is why AI loves listicles, which is why it loves hierarchy. There's a certain way that it's looking for content and items. So if you're not thinking about that as you're creating the content, it's something that you do need to start thinking about. And here's something that I want to say. When it comes to creating content, obviously this is not like back in the day where, we front loaded a bunch of keywords. That's not the whole point of creating the content. I don't want people to start looking at content and thinking that they can't have fun with it. I think that's the biggest concern. And one of the biggest challenges probably in commercial real estate for brokers is, how do I have fun with my content? And maybe that's a show for the future, right? Like, how do I actually enjoy what I do? Because so many of it they look at creating content as drudgery, right? Like, which is, I mean, it's great for us. It's a good business model, but I mean, you should be having fun with your content. For example, we have Bob Knackle, who did the Godfather of commercial real estate, right? That all came about because Ryan Serhant mentioned that he was the godfather of commercial real estate on Owning Manhattan season 2. And so it's kind of like that kind of snowballed the whole idea of like, hey, let's go ahead and play with this. And now, I hear there's rumors that there's going to be a Godfather 2 coming out.
Ooh, Godfather 2.
Yeah. Based on, BK is a huge fan of The Godfather. Those are his favorite movies. So he's obviously taking very iconic scenes from each of the movies and recreating those scenes, which is hilarious. But at the same time, like, Lindsay Barden over on the gram says, I have a blast with content and hashtag no filter. And Lindsay, that's why I read your content, because I know you enjoy it. I know that you appreciate having, sharing your story, sharing what's going on with you. You share your experiences. I read your content. There's other people where I know that they have not taken the time or the effort to create something, and they're just posting it. And I just fly by it because it's not going to offer me any value. Now, obviously, Lindsay and we both have very little dark humor, both Gen X, both appreciate that kind of personality. And so we have a personal relationship. But the fact of the matter is that like I will read her content. Do I do retail leasing? I don't do retail leasing, but I'll read her content because she's always got a story to share and she's always got something to explain. So
Yeah, I
people
mean,
still think that social media. Yeah, sorry, what?
well, no, I'm just saying that you got to look at everybody. Everybody has their own personality, right? And they have to inject that little bit of personality into their content. You've mentioned before where real life versus online. If there's a disconnect between the two, when you do meet somebody in real life at an event somewhere, on vacation, grabbing a burger or whatever, if there's a disconnect, it's obvious. I mean, it's night and day, right? Even if it's just a little bit off, you're like,
Well,
this is
it's super disconcerting, like discombobulating, really, because you've interacted with this person online and they're a certain way, and then you meet them in real life and you find out that they're an introvert, and you're like, whoa, okay, this was not what I was expecting. This is,
right.
and then like somebody like me with high energy, and I'm going to come in and I'm just going to be, loud and obnoxious like I am everywhere I go. If I meet somebody like that who has been a different person online than they are in real life, that is so discombobulating for me, because I'm going to still come at you with the same energy. And then of course, then I feel weird because I'm using that same energy and your energy is just very like off, or it's you're very quiet versus the personality I was expecting online.
Right.
And so that is a huge disconnect for me. And I will actually pull back. Obviously, if you're in sales, you realize that you match energies with the people that you're with, right? You don't keep coming at them 100% with.
No, because then you put them off and it becomes really awkward.
Yeah. It reminds me of what is it, Stuart? Look what I can do. Stuart. Anyway, okay. So it's we've got to change this idea that social media is no longer about going viral. It's no longer about hashtags or trending audio. It is really about becoming a trusted source of information, really.
Right. And being able to be found.
Yeah. And, attention is going to get you noticed. We all know that. But it's authority that's going to get you recommended. When you can show up as an authority presence online, whether it's through your social media, whether it is through your blogging, whether it's through your earned media, right? Getting those mentions in those magazines. That's where that authority compounds. James Milner's joined us over on the gram. James, we are talking about building visibility, trust, and business in the age of AI. So let's talk about the rise of agentic search. And a couple of things that we need to discuss is we have SEO, we have GEO, we have AEO, we've got all the OEOs, right? So think about it. 5 years ago, people Googled everything. Just Google it, right? Just Google me. Today, they're asking ChatGPT. They're talking to Gemini. They have personal relationships with their AI.
God, they do. Sometimes it's a little odd. Like, okay, we're going down that road.
So and I haven't used Microsoft Copilot because we don't use Microsoft products. So somebody's gonna have to fill me in on Microsoft Copilot and how well it works, because it's just not something that we use. But here's the interesting thing. AI is not showing you links. What AI is doing is it is giving you the TLDR, the too long didn't read version of an answer. And the question that you need to ask is, how do I get my content to be a part of the answer that people are asking?
Right. So just to clarify though, SEO is still part of this.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We've gone through shifts, right? Whether on social media or on websites or whatever, where, like email marketing is dead. No, it's not. It's not dead. By no means is it dead. SEO is not dead. We're not saying that SEO is dead in any way. it is still a way that gets websites and other things searchable.
Right.
The search engines still use that as a way to find you, or to find things like in your blog, certain keywords. So we're not saying that SEO is being put away. It's the landscape is changing a little bit.
Yep.
That's
So so SEO is search engine optimization, and think about Bing, Google, Yahoo. You know, we had all these search engines, and obviously your search engine optimization allowed you to rank higher on the search results. Now, of course, people don't trust those search results anymore, because we know through their own admission that search engines have either pressed information, they've made information go further down, they've they've completely silenced information, and of course they can be bought. So you can have a whole bunch of, whether it's through paid advertising or it's through whatever. And we'll let the conspiracy theorists run with that one. We don't actually, so search engine, we don't trust them as much as we used to, right? The focus for search engines is keywords, metadata, like how fast does your website load, right? That's a huge thing for Google. If your website loads too slowly, that is going to actually go against you, and then you get sent further down the search results. The quality of the backlinks. We were actually doing an audit on a website, and I felt very, very bad for the person, because I believe that they had, was it 634 bad backlinks?
Yeah, it was high. It was pretty high.
It was really, really high, which was, this is the problem when you hire people to do something for you. They tell you they're going to do it, and it sounds good, but you have no idea what they're actually talking about. Actually, maybe we should have an entire episode on this too. But yes, backlinks are important, but bad backlinks are also just as important. And if you have 634 bad backlinks, your website is not getting found. Your website is at the bottom of the barrel. Nobody's looking at it, and Google's not sharing it, and nobody else is either.
No, it goes back to searchability, right? And if those bad backlinks go nowhere, or they go to sites that have nothing that's not relevant to the information that it is searching for, it's going to tell the person who's doing the search it's either doesn't exist, or it'll say that basically, like, this isn't what you're looking for, right?
It comes down to credibility and authority right there, right? So with those things that are not good for your website, that is showing that obviously you're not credible and you have no authority. So answer engine optimization. So this is designed for AI assistance and voice search. It's something you and I have been talking about. Actually, Gary Vaynerchuk has been talking about voice search for years. And we will do a more in-depth episode on voice. I know you want to talk about it because you think it's important. I'm still on the fence. But after what you said, or like before we came on air, Hector said, people are asking their phones, hey, and I don't want to say it because my phone will go off. I don't have an Alexa in here, do I?
No, not anymore.
It would be like, hey, Alexa, where can we find the best Thai food, right? They're not just typing it in, they're using voice search. So that is something to talk about. But the goal of the answer engine optimization is to become obviously the answer, right? You want to be the person that is going to be recommended before anybody else. And it's not even so much of a recommendation as that it's pulling in all of this information, and it's like, oh, okay, well, the best person for this job is this. We have perfect examples of that with Bob Knackel, who I won't spill his beans about something else that came through, but even Grok is doing recommendations, and people are going to Grok as a source of
Right.
information.
Well,
So,
I mean, people are already on social, right? They're already on their X account, and so
mhm,
why open up another window? You got Grok right there. I know Grok doesn't get mentioned quite a lot compared to like Gemini or Claude or OpenAI, but Grok, if you look at the platform itself, the benchmarks on it are in some cases a lot higher than those other ones.
really,
Um, Definitely. So the way Grok was designed, it was designed not just on people's informations and things like that, like Gemini and Claude, going and looking at people's emails. Uh, um, but Grok took a different route. Grok went the route of engineers.
mm,
They already had the data. They already had all that
true,
information because of X, their X platform, SpaceX. They fed it all that information.
yeah,
So when you coming, when it comes to more of a mathematical type
okay,
information, Grok blows everybody else away at the moment, simply because they have that information. Um, but yeah, so I mean, if they're already on that, why would they? Why why leave it?
right, and that makes sense. I mean, it's the same thing with, like, I have Gemini in my Chrome browser, right? And it's funny because I don't actually use Gemini that much. I use Gemini for alt text. So I'll say, hey, look at this image. Give me the alt text for this image. I use it for keywords for blog posts,
Hmm.
and I use it for metadata for blog posts. So I'm not a huge Gemini user, which is kind of funny because I mean it's literally right there. I flop between chat and um,
Claude,
chat and
Claude,
Claude.
Claude.
Yeah, and so I mean it's so I work with multiple, but I have specific tasks that I have for each one, which is kind of funny. So
You
think
know,
about when we're talking about answer engine optimization, we need to have clear questions, clear answers. It needs to have structured information. I've talked
yeah,
about this before, where especially if you're doing like a blog post or you're doing a LinkedIn article, um, and we know that answer engines are pulling their content from LinkedIn articles. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. So we've got LinkedIn, we've got YouTube, and we've got Reddit. That's where they're pulling that content from. Don't come to me about Reddit. I am not a huge Reddit fan. Reddit scares me. If you are a
well,
Reddit fan, by all means have fun. But Reddit it's such a different animal when it comes to, like, it's not like I would say for the most part LinkedIn is fairly nice, right? LinkedIn's a fairly nice community. X X is a little different. X can get spicy, right? We can
a
have a
little bit.
spicy community over on X. And then you have Reddit.
Just completely off the rails.
And then you have Reddit. So that's all I'll say about that. So you're going to need to have structured information. You have to show that you are the authority.
Yes.
And you do that through paying attention to your content pillars, making sure that you're talking about the same things. And sometimes that's annoying and boring and blah blah blah. But if you want to get picked up by these answer engines, you have to make sure that your content is that you are standing out as a person that's talking about a certain subject, right? All
Yes.
right. So GEO, it's not a car anymore. I'm
No,
in
it's not a
Geo,
Geo.
a Geo
Ooh.
Metro. Told you that story about that guy that picked me up in a Geo Metro when I was in high school.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, yep,
Ooh.
nope. I drive a 1981 Toyota Celica. I think a Geo Metro goes below that, which is actually super funny. But anyway, we went on one date. That was it. Design. So GEO is generative engine optimization.
Yeah.
It's designed for AI models that generate responses, and it helps AI understand your expertise. So, what we want you to focus on is original content, consistent messaging, topical authority. You need to be a part of it being a credible source. You need to create LinkedIn articles, have blog posts, go on podcasts, do videos, right? Like it's all of this stuff all together, right? Like we technically do not have a podcast. This is a show. This is a live show. Andy McQuaid, thanks for joining us over on the gram. We are talking about trust and in the age of AI for your content. But we're pretty much everywhere, right? We're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn, we're on X, we're on Instagram. We do these live shows. I do a live with Corey on Instagram Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We do Cup of Joe with Corey and Mo. And it's all a part of just showing up and doing something. And and that's I base at the end, like brass tacks, boiling it all down. All you got to do is freaking show up. Right? Like if people were to go and look at my profile, any of the profiles, they would know that I talk about commercial real estate. They know I talk about social media marketing. They know I talk about the marketing ecosystem. Now, yes, there's certain things on my personal profile for Instagram that are a little, if you look at my stories, they're a little wild. They're a little different. You get a flavor of who I am and my personality. But
a little more personal, but yeah.
No, it's a hell of a lot more personal. I mean, you go on my X, you see I'm a spicy person on X. I don't have a problem, saying certain things over there that I might not say over on LinkedIn. But we got to think about it this way. SEO helps people find you. AEO helps AI answer with you. And GEO helps AI remember you. Right?
There you go.
So SEO helps people find you. AEO helps AI answer with you. And GEO helps AI remember you. So what's actually working right now when it comes to content?
Well, how about some educational content?
Yep.
Right. We talk about the 3 E's, right? And one of them is educate. You want to tell your audience a little bit about what it is you do, a little bit about how things are moving, a little bit about how things are structured. I mean, however you want to spin it, what it could be about a deal, how it went down. You don't have to give away the secret recipe,
the secret sauce. And hey,
but
well, and I'd just like to say, there's no secret sauce in commercial real estate. Y'all are doing the same thing.
Does it differently, that's all.
Everybody they just do it differently.
Right. You still use the same forms. You still have to follow the same laws. I mean, you still have to follow, there's things you can't change it. But how you do it, that's your secret recipe, right? And we're not, nobody's asking you to give away the way you do it. Honestly, that comes down individually to personality, because whoever you are, you're going to attract like-minded people.
Well, and I know you get frustrated with me because you're just like, and I think you understand it better now, but back when you used to get frustrated with me, you're like, why are you telling them that? Why are you telling them how to do that? And I have to gently remind you that Gary Vaynerchuk talks about just giving it away, right? Because
definitely.
Because people, we know that for the majority, most people are lazy and they're not going to do it. So,
it comes down to either comfort or time. People either don't have the time or they're not comfortable doing it.
Yep.
And that's really why people don't do it. It's not that, a little bit of laziness does kind of float in there a little bit, but really it comes down to, I don't know how to do it. I can't, I don't have the time to learn it. Well, why am I going to do
it? That's true. So what's also working right now? We've got original thought leadership, right?
Yeah.
Stuff that's coming directly from you. If you're having challenges or issues with creating content, my biggest recommendation for everybody is open up a voice memo. Open up that voice memo and and create something, talk it through, take that transcription, and then if you have to run it through chat, run it through Claude, see what it says. What I love about that is that those are your original thoughts. They've never been on the internet anywhere, right?
Right.
If you're worried about getting duplicate content or duplicate information from something, if they're your original thoughts, unless you've got somebody wired in your brain.
Well, and that goes back to like the way you started the show is you don't want to just say, hey, write me a post. You're actually using that. You're using that information that you just fed it from your voice memo or whatever, and now you're creating original content. It is all it's doing is helping you ideate, find a way to write that post, but not write it out of nothing, out of thin air. You just give it a title and say, I want to talk about X. Write me this post, right? You're actually feeding it something, information that it can use to create original content.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if it's coming from you, coming directly from you, and it's never been anywhere else, then
That's you.
It's all you. LinkedIn articles are another great source for and we know LinkedIn articles are actually pulling that content in. AI likes to reference that long form content. It also helps create context, and then of course as you're posting, you're creating awareness. So there's all these different things. I don't want people to get caught up in the metrics of LinkedIn articles, though. I don't want you to get so worried about, oh, well, nobody's reading my LinkedIn article. Okay, that's great. I don't care about that. What I want is I want your LinkedIn article to answer questions, to be in a hierarchical content and data that's getting pulled up by the answer engines. That's the most important thing. So stop looking at the metrics so much as, what is this benefiting me for, right?
Right. You're looking at the long game. You're not looking at the short game, right? You want to be able to you want that search engine, whether it's AI or Google, to be able to find it, index it, be able to get information out of it.
Right. The next one is, obviously we talked about this a lot. It's video. YouTube is another huge source that Agentic search pulls from. Lindsay says, never done one. Are you talking about LinkedIn articles? How many should we be doing? You should be doing at least once a month. At least one a month, a LinkedIn article. You could be doing one a week if you wanted to, but it's at least once a month I would do for a LinkedIn article. Yep.
So on the video side of it, AIs have come a long way. Let's put it that way. They've come a long way, but they still cannot view a video. So how is it that they're getting information from?
No, they got to get the information either from the metadata, from the actual video, from the title of the video, which is why it's important that you upload an exact, almost long form keyword for your video titles, because that's what it reads, versus move_17, right? Like, what does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. So you have to actually put titles on there. And then also think about the fact that your copy. So when we're creating copy for YouTube video titles, even if they're YouTube shorts, they're long. They're not just just a really short explainer that maybe you would do on Instagram. Because what I'm banking on is that I know that AI is pulling from YouTube video descriptions. They're pulling from the SRT files. So SRT files are your captions. So that's the actual what it's called. It's called an SRT for the words, the captions. Anyway, so you upload those, and it's going to be pulling from that too. And so all of that together is what's starting to help create you as an authority figure. So, video also builds trust faster. We trust people that we can see.
Right. Yeah. We want to see the person. We want to see their facial movements and things like that, and that helps build that bond, right? We haven't moved away from that. If anything, COVID showed us that we need to have direct contact with the person. Zoom helped quite a bit, but we still want to have that eye to eye contact with the person, so that we can judge whether or not, more or less, whether you know it or not. Your brain is still making those contacts. Like, is this person trustworthy? Are they telling, are they saying something truthful? And they're looking at your expressions and everything. It comes down to the psychology of the body language, right?
100%. And it actually, I mean, if you have somebody showing up, I've never had a disconnect with somebody that showed up on video versus somebody who just writes on social, and then I've met them in real life. There's never been a disconnect, because you can watch body language, you can watch a person in front of a camera and figure out kind of who they are. And when, obviously if you watch me, I talk with my hands, right? Like, you see me do that a lot.
Don't get too close.
Hey, now. I've only hit you a couple times. But the fact of the matter is that this, seeing somebody's face, seeing their facial expressions, helps build that trust faster, probably faster than people realize. And then last but not least, you have that community that you're building. So all the comments, all the conversations, the DMs, that's starting and building relationships, whether it is a transactional relationship. A relationship is a relationship, right? And communities outperform audiences 100%. So let me tell you a real quick story. We do have to get going. Let me tell you a quick story about how community outperforms an audience. I worked for a company. I got fired from the company. I helped build a community of 11,000 raving fans.
That was amazing, by the way. That was really amazing.
Rabid, raving fans. And after I got fired, I had this community that followed me, and we had probably, I don't know, like at the height, I think we had like 200 and some odd members of this community that all followed me. I actually got accused of being a cult leader by one of the people I used to work with, which is also hilarious. But I had a community that followed me. They loved me, and we had built a personal relationship through my interactions with them, either in the community that I helped build or through DMs. I had a group of people follow me. I'm nobody, right? Like I'm just this little Mexican lady inside of a box. But because we had built these friendships and relationships across common interests, they were my biggest supporters. And even to this day, on the day that I got fired, it's Happy Mo Got Fired Day. Which is just, I mean, it's funny. It was shitty at the time, but it's funny, right? But we built a community, and the community still exists. It's still around 9 years later. 9 years later. So, I mean, 9 years later. And in fact, there's a group of 4 of us that still talk every single day. Now, technically, we don't talk. We send each other snaps, but we originally started on Facebook Messenger. And in Facebook Messenger, we had conversations all day long, right? And then we went from Facebook to Snapchat, and we've just been on Snapchat since then. But the fact of the matter is that there's still this group of us that still connects, that still communicates 9 years later because of a community that was built for a company. Anyway, community, it's huge. It will outperform any audience. So people trust people. People trust people they can see. AI trusts authority. Authority comes from blog post. It comes from earned media. It comes from podcasts. It comes from saying the same thing, talking about the same things, sharing that information. You need to be able to build both in real time to get picked up by agentic search.
Definitely.
We got to get going. But I think we need to continue this conversation probably next week, because we need to talk about how AI is changing content creation, the content that AI loves, and common mistakes that we see people making. So we'll probably talk about this coming up on Monday. So we'll finish, or next Tuesday, we'll finish this conversation. On Thursday, we have Christina Rodriguez is going to be joining us from SRS. Christina is one of our committee co-chairs for CREI Summit. We'll be talking about systems, processes, CREI Summit sponsorship, as well as her military career. So I'm really excited. So Christina Rodriguez will be here on Thursday. Really excited to have her on. She's such a hoot, and just a really great person to be around. If you guys have any questions about agentic search or AI and content creation, don't hesitate to hit Hector or myself up. We're available on all the social platforms. At least I am. I don't know about Hector. He's available on LinkedIn and on X at Frozen Green. So if you guys have questions about that, and then next Wednesday, I'll be doing a free webinar. So the webinar is going to is actually covering this topic, which is how to get found on AI, so that you become that trusted source. Hit me up if you want the link to that, and we can get you signed up. All right, everybody. We will see you back here on Thursday with our special guest, Miss Christina Rodriguez. Pack it up, pack it in, let the surge begin.